Famous Americans. Thomas Jefferson. Introduction. Thomas Jefferson was one of the founding fathers of America and the third President of the United States. He was the governor of Virginia at the beginning of the American Revolution, and he wrote most of the Declaration of Independence. After America gained its independence from England, Thomas Jefferson and other leaders met to write the United States Constitution. He served as president for 2 terms. Later, he helped create the University of Virginia. His home, Monticello, is a famous plantation. Birth and childhood. Thomas Jefferson was born in Virginia in 1743. His father was Peter Jefferson, and his mother was Jan Randolph Jefferson. They had a total of 10 children. His father was a planter and a surveyor, and he died when Thomas was only 13 years old. At first, Thomas was taught by tutors, but later attended a local school. When he was 9 years old, he began studying French, Greek, and Latin. He also studied history and science, and learned how to ride a horse. He liked to study things that had to do with nature. Young adulthood. When he was 16 years old, Thomas Jefferson began studying at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. Here, he continued to study French and Greek, as well as the violin, mathematics, and many other subjects. As a student, Jefferson was known for his great curiosity and for the huge number of books he read. In 1762, after studying for just 2 years, he graduated from college. Later, he worked for his law professor, George Wythe. He studied law and became a lawyer in 1767. Marriage. After becoming a lawyer, Thomas Jefferson married Martha Wales Skelton in 1772. Their love of music is one of the things that made them happy during their marriage. She was a piano player, and he played the violin and the cello. Martha was pretty, popular, and a good hostess for the many dinners and parties at their home, the famous plantation called Monticello. She also helped to manage all the daily activities at the large plantation. This period at Monticello was the happiest time of Jefferson's life. Monticello. In 1768, before he met his future wife, Martha, Jefferson began building his home called Monticello. This means little mountain in Italian. It sits on a hill looking down over his plantation near Charlottesville, Virginia. At first, he grew tobacco, but later he switched to growing wheat. He also had gardens for growing vegetables and flowers. It was here that he experimented with new and unusual plants. There were no schools for learning architecture, so Jefferson taught himself by reading books. The American Revolution. When the 13 American colonies went to war against England, Jefferson went to Philadelphia to join the other founding fathers. This meeting was called the Continental Congress. Here, in 1775, he and other people from the colonies talked about the war, called the American Revolutionary War, and about independence from England. By 1776, the Founding Fathers had decided to break away from England. Although he was helped by others, Jefferson wrote most of the famous Declaration of Independence. The United States Constitution. After writing the Declaration of Independence, and after winning the American Revolutionary War, the Founding Fathers needed to decide what kind of government was best for the new country. At a meeting in 1787 called the Constitutional Convention, the Founding Fathers wrote the United States Constitution. Jefferson was one of many who helped to write this important document. It contains the laws of America and tells us what kind of government the Founding Fathers thought best for the new country. Governor of Virginia. Thomas Jefferson returned to his home state of Virginia after helping to write the Declaration of Independence, but before the end of the American Revolutionary War. He worked for the state and was elected as governor of Virginia in 1779 when he was 36 years old. The term was only for 1 year, but he was re-elected in 1780. During his time as governor, the colonies were at war with England. Jefferson moved the capital of the state of Virginia from Williamsburg to Richmond. First term as President of the United States. Thomas Jefferson served for 2 terms as President of the United States. His first term began in 1801. He was the 3rd president after George Washington and John Adams. Many people in the new country of America liked Jefferson. When they heard he had been elected president, there were many celebrations. He helped America buy a huge piece of land called the Louisiana Purchase. Later, Jefferson asked 2 explorers, Lewis and Clark, to travel across the new land to the west and draw maps of what they saw. Second term as President of the United States. Thomas Jefferson was popular as president during his first term, so he was re-elected to serve a second term. During his second term, America faced problems that were caused by events in Europe. Napoleon Bonaparte was the leader of France, and he was at war with England. England stopped several American ships and forced the American sailors to join the English Navy. Jefferson did not want war, so he put an embargo on English goods. This meant that America would not do any trade with England. The University of Virginia. From when he was a boy, Thomas Jefferson loved books and enjoyed studying and learning things. Over his life, he collected many books. After his second term as president, his book collection became the start of the Library of Congress. He also wanted to begin a new school that everyone could afford to go to, not just rich people. He also wanted his new school to offer classes that couldn't be found at other schools. In 1819, when he was 76 years old, he built the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. How America remembers Thomas Jefferson. America remembers Thomas Jefferson as one of the founding fathers of the country, as one of the writers of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution, and as the 3rd President of the United States. His face is on the $2 bill, the nickel, postage stamps, and Mount Rushmore. On the 200th anniversary of his birth, the Jefferson Memorial was built in Washington, D.C. Many things have been named after him, including schools, colleges, universities, mountains, cities, counties, and streets. Interesting facts. Jefferson's nickname is the Father of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson loved nature. He loved to study plants and enjoyed looking at the skies and studying comets, planets, and the stars. Jefferson taught himself how to be an architect and built not only his famous house, Monticello, but also the University of Virginia. Jefferson kept a record of all the different kinds of plants and animals that are found in his home state of Virginia. Jefferson did not like things to be formal. While he was president, he sometimes even answered the front door himself. When Jefferson helped America buy the Louisiana Purchase, it more than doubled the size of the country. In addition to enjoying playing the violin and the cello, Jefferson loved to sing. Jefferson also liked to draw pictures. Interesting facts. Although he was extremely intelligent, a great writer, and someone who could speak 5 different languages, Jefferson was not very good at speaking in public and often mumbled. While he was president, Jefferson started the tradition of shaking hands instead of bowing. Jefferson and John Adams were the only 2 founding fathers who signed the Declaration of Independence and then went on to become president. The sculpture of Jefferson's head on Mount Rushmore in South Dakota is about 60 feet high.